Brandon, first off, how's training camp been going for you? You guys have a new head coach, David Culley. There's a lot of
Yeah.
uncertainty going over there in Houston. What's it been like?
Training camp's been going well. We working, grinding every single day in this humidity, continue to come together as a football team. So I'm happy where we are. We got a long way to go, but that's the beauty of training camp. We're just going to continue to just grind it out to make sure we're ready by week one.
Your first year last year in Houston, you had another great season, your fifth 1,000-yard receiving year. It was your first one with Deshaun. Now you got Tyrod Taylor in there. We don't know what's going to happen with Deshaun. How different, how similar are they as quarterbacks?
I never get into the comparison game with my quarterbacks. One thing I will say, they're both competitors. Tyrod is a competitor. He's been playing in this game for a really long time. And he's a natural leader as well. So you love coming to work with him every single day and love the way that he goes about his business.
David's a guy who, long history as a wide receivers coach in the NFL. To have a guy like that be elevated finally to head coach
Yeah.
and walk into what's a difficult circumstance there. How's he been handling it? What do you like about his coaching?
I mean, I think he's been handling it really well. He come in, the thing that he's going to bring that energy and focus every single day. And when you have that from your head coach, you tend to follow. So I think he's been coming in first day we got here. He grabbed the attention of the room. And when you do that as a coach right off the bat, your players tend to follow.
How's Deshaun been handling? I don't know how close you guys are.
Yes.
You only been with him for a year. How's he been handling everything?
I think he's been handling well. Yeah, I think he's been handling well.
As I mentioned earlier, first year last year in Houston, you've been on four teams, five 1,000-yard seasons. How do you handle your change so well, going from team to team and not allow it to affect your performance?
For me, at the end of the day, it's just another uniform. I know who I am as a player. I know wherever I line up, regardless where it is, I'm going to do my job and do it at a high level and do it at a level that a lot of these receivers are doing it at. So for me, it never affects me because I know I'm just going what I bring to the table, regardless of where I'm at.
Now, every time you go somewhere, you got to learn a new system, learn a new
Yeah.
scheme. You've played with different. You've been with Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Jared Goff, Deshaun.
Yeah.
You've been with some very talented
Yeah.
quarterbacks. How much does that help you when you transition?
For me, learning from them, just the ins and out, not just on the football field, but how to take care of your body. I learned a lot from them guys, but I also learned the way that they like things and been able to just bring it to other quarterbacks around me. Just the way that they lead, the way that they go about their work. I learned a lot from them in that aspect.
One of those teams you played for, the Patriots, you were there a year, and I remember after that game asking Tom Brady directly how much of an impact it was because you got hurt and you got knocked out in that game, and how much your loss was an impact. And he said it was tremendous. It was huge. When you look back on it, and I don't know if you do, Brandon, do you think about that and think, hey, it was a close game. Had I been able to play, if that didn't happen that way, things may have been different?
You think about it every once in a while, but at the end of the day, it was one of those things that just out of my control. But you just hate that it happens in a game like that. You can't be there to help your team. So it was unfortunate, but I learned from it, I guess, in that sense. But it continues to keep that chip on my shoulder.
I remember speaking to you then about Psalm 144:6, which is
Yeah.
a really cool one. Send forth lightning and scatter the enemy, shoot your arrows and defeat them, rout them. Tell me what that verse means to you, because you incorporate that in your touchdown celebration.
Yeah, for me, my faith is my foundation, and that's just how I've always been. How I play the game. I play it to glorify God, and it's just a way for me to glorify God in a different and a unique way. It's one of my favorite verses, but it also gets me in that mode. It's not the lightest verse. It's a violent one, but this game is violent, so I take that with me.
How do you, in the middle of football season, you're playing on Sundays, how do you stay grounded in the Word, in what is your foundation?
Yeah, no, for me, I still have my chaplain from college that I still meet with once a week over the phone. Spending time with my wife in the Word, by myself. We're doing a great job here on this team led by Dylan. And just really, like you said, when we get a chance to be able to reset midweek and get in that Word, I think it's huge. And I think we're doing such a great job of that, not just individually, but as a team as well.
Brandon, I know you love photography. How did you even develop that as I guess you would call it a hobby, right? How did you even
Yeah,
develop
yeah.
that love?
Traveling. When I started to travel and I started to see the world for what it was, I thought to myself, I got to capture this, but I got to capture it in a unique way. I mean, great iPhones take good pictures and all, but to really remember it how I want to remember it, I really started to get in photography with Leica and, take it to the next level.
That's pretty cool. I know you've done a lot of work with single moms. What does it mean to you to be able to give back in that way and to help out moms who are doing this? It's tough out there for two parents, let alone
Yeah.
single moms, man.
Just coming from that myself, it always had a close place in my heart. Just seeing how my mom struggled raising me and my three older brothers, it's always been something that was endeared to me. So when I see it and now I'm in a position to be able to help others, that's what my heart is led to help single moms. And I guess you can really call it single parents. I say single moms just because that's what I grew up in. But as we all know, single parent is a single parent and it's hard. And so that's where I try to give back and try to help and just know to myself to never forget where I came from.
Brandon, when you were growing up, looking at potentially playing in the NFL one day, were there any wide receivers you tried to
Oh
emulate?
yeah,
Who was it?
Steve
Who were you
Smith,
guys?
Steve Smith, Steve
Steve
Smith,
Smith?
Carolina, Baltimore. I mean, you talk about a guy 5'9". He brought it every single day, every game. That was someone I looked up to growing up and always wanted to be like once I made it to the league.
That's very cool, man. And I know he's got a job in the media now.
Yeah,
I don't know, has
yeah,
he had a chance to talk to you,
yeah.
interview
We
you?
we we talked a couple of times. Got a lot of respect for him. I remember when I was young, he let me come stay with him and work out with him for a couple of weeks. Going in my rookie year. So a lot of respect for that dude.
Brandon, I know you introduced a lot of players to this new form of light therapy that you use for anxiety and sleep issues. What is it? How did you find out about it, and how much has it helped you?
Well, first of all, it's a lamp that it's not. For me, at first I was a little weird. I'm like, okay, a lamp or light, and it gives off green light. But then once I start to use it, for me, sleep is is really something that I struggle with. And when they told me that it can help me and promote sleep, I was like, okay, I'll try it out. And once I started trying it out, I was like, okay, it's something to it. So, and then for my wife, we was using it around the house because she has headaches, and for me, it was just anything that can help me sleep. Obviously, it comes to performance, comes to recovery, and I started doing that, and it's been a game changer. And I've been fortunate enough to know that it affects me, and so I started to give some to whether it's my teammates or team. Players that's in my agency, and they said the same thing. Especially during this time, like training camp, sleep is real thin. So you need whatever you can to be able to enhance that.
How many years have you been using it? Do you know how long you've been trying it?
This is, I would say, about a year now. Actually, about a year, going over just a little over a year. I've been using it.
Man, like you said, sleep is so very important. You got a little one at home, don't you? A little boy?
Yeah, I got, and that's the other thing. Yeah, first one, he's 10 months now. I think just like I said, the calming effect. You would never think a light like that can do something like that. The beautiful thing is, there's literally no side effects. You know what I mean? It's a light that the way that it gives off this green light. It's backed by Harvard University. So as you know, anytime Harvard put their touch on something, it got something to it, right? And so once they said that, I was sold.
I'll be honest with you. When I was reading about it, I got the email. I'm checking it out. I see Harvard. My eyes lit up. My ears perked up. I'm like, wait a minute. Harvard's involved. I'm having some trouble sleeping right now. New house, new environment. I got to check this out myself.
Yeah, no. So it's awesome, and I think if people get a chance or want to be able to try it out, it's not, like I said, it's not just the light. It's like the wavelength that it gives off. It's like infrared sauna in a sense.
Yeah.
People think it's just the red light that's doing the work, but it's actually the wavelengths that you cannot see that is doing something for you.
That's pretty cool, man. I appreciate it. Last one for you. Not a lot of expectations for the Houston Texans this year. Is there like how do you guys approach that? Some teams look at it like, hey, we love being the underdogs. We hope nobody thinks anything of us. We're going to sneak up on you and make you feel it on the way out the door.
I think that's the mindset that we have. At the end of the day, you still got to line up. It's football, and it's still mano a mano. So regardless what the hype teams that they get, you still got to play us. And the way that we working, we love being an underdog.